The home pregnancy test sat on the bathroom counter, a tiny plastic symbol of hope and change, but next to it, another test yielded a result I never anticipated: positive. Not for the life growing inside me, but for something insidious, something that shattered my world, an STD. My husband and I had been together for years, our commitment solid and unquestioned, or so I believed. My world tilted. Nausea, sharper than any morning sickness, gripped me. It wasn't just the infection, it was the implication. How was this possible? The questions ricocheted through my mind, each one a blow to the foundation of our life together. This wasn't a cold I'd caught. This was a betrayal of our vows, of my trust, of the life we were building. The weight of the secret, the knowledge burning in my chest, was suffocating. My husband was due home soon, and the thought of his touch, his kiss, filled me with a visceral revulsion. I loved him, but how could I, when love felt like a lie I'd been told, a lie I'd willingly believed? The positive pregnancy test suddenly felt heavy with dread. A child, our child, conceived in the shadow of such deceit. He walked through the door, oblivious to the storm raging inside me. The sight of him, his familiar smile, ignited a fury I'd never known. Words, sharp and accusing, tumbled out, each syllable laced with the poison of betrayal. His smile faltered, replaced by a mask of confusion. Denial, swift and absolute, was his first defense. "It's a mistake," he insisted, his voice shaking. There must be some mix-up, but his eyes, wide and darting, betrayed his words. I saw the flicker of guilt, the fear that I saw through his facade. It was a confirmation more damning than any test result. "Don't insult me with lies!" I spat, throwing the test at his feet. The plastic clattered against the hardwood floor, the sound sharp and final, the air crackled with tension. He looked at me then, his face pale, and for the first time I saw fear in his eyes. Not fear of being caught, but fear of what this meant for us, for the life we'd built. His initial denials crumbled under the weight of my pain and fury. The truth, when it finally spilled out, was a torrent of half-truths and justifications. A one-time mistake, he claimed, a moment of weakness, a lapse in judgment. He pleaded for understanding, for forgiveness. But how do you forgive a betrayal so profound, so deeply personal? Each word felt like a fresh wound, tearing at the fabric of our love, our life together. The man I thought I knew, the man who vowed to love and cherish me, had vanished, replaced by a stranger cloaked in guilt and remorse. And yet, beneath the anger, the disgust, a sliver of hope took root. Perhaps, just perhaps, this was a chance for redemption, for rebuilding. But the road to healing felt impossibly long and treacherous. The life growing inside me, once a symbol of our love, now felt like a constant reminder of his betrayal. How could I bring a child into a world where love felt so fragile, so easily broken? Section 4. The betrayal. The physical act of infidelity was abhorrent, but it was the emotional betrayal that cut deepest. He had risked not only my health, but the health of our unborn child. The thought of his carelessness, his disregard for the life we were creating together, filled me with a rage that bordered on primal. The nights were the hardest. Sleep offered no escape, only a relentless replay of his betrayal, his lies echoing in the silence. In the darkness, I grappled with the weight of my emotions, the anger, the hurt, the overwhelming sense of vulnerability. How could I ever trust him again? Every shared meal, every touch was tainted with the bitter aftertaste of deceit. The life we'd built together, the future we'd envisioned, now felt like a cruel illusion. My body, once a sacred space where our love grew, now felt violated, a battleground for conflicting emotions. Section 5. The choice. The question of the pregnancy loomed over me like a spectre. Could I, knowing what I knew now, bring myself to raise this child with him? Was it fair to the child, to me, to subject ourselves to a future steeped in the shadow of his betrayal? The thought of terminating the pregnancy crossed my mind, a stark and agonizing possibility. But even in my pain, I couldn't bring myself to consider it. This child, innocent and pure, deserved a chance at life, a chance at love, but what kind of life could I offer this child with a man I no longer recognized? The thought of raising a child alone, of bearing the weight of his betrayal alone, filled me with a bone-deep weariness. The decision I knew would have profound and lasting consequences. It was a choice that would define not only my future, but the future of my child. Section 6, the uncertainty. The path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. Forgiveness, I realize, is a journey, not a destination. Whether I can forgive him, whether our marriage can survive this, remains to be seen. The pain is still raw, the wound still fresh. But amidst the wreckage of our lives, there is a glimmer of hope. The unconditional love for the life growing inside me, a love untainted by his betrayal, gives me strength. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, life finds a way. The future is uncertain, the path ahead fraught with challenges, but I will face them one step at a time, for myself, for my child, for the possibility of a future where love, trust, and forgiveness might once again bloom.